What's up, guys, and welcome to my 30th BRZ GR86 review. We are currently in a 2024 Subaru BRZ TS, tuned by STI, and we're going to take this for a quick street drive just outside of Road America here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We're here for the Midwest Automotive Media Association Spring Rally. Today we're just doing some street drives to get a feel for how these cars perform on a daily basis. I did drive this on track yesterday. It was a blast. It has the Brembo brakes, front and rear, and the uprated Hitachi dampers. The idea is just to make this car more track ready without sacrificing really anything in terms of daily drivability. This car has an MSRP of around $36,000, so about $5,000 more than a limited trim BRZ with a 6-speed manual transmission. Is that extra money worth it? And does this car feel compromised in terms of daily drivability? In addition to those two mechanical upgrades, we also have some nice little STI goodies, including this red STI engine start stop button and a very subtle STI logo on the gauge cluster. This car is powered by the FA24 engine. It's a Subaru 2.4 liter flat 4, making 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. The car weighs just over 2,800 pounds. This car's ethos is fun to drive. It has a pretty long wheelbase. You can slide this thing around as easily as just about any car I've driven. This one is finished in a gorgeous shade of World Rally Blue, the same color I used to have on my 2022 limited BRZ. Not the best sounding engine in the world. You can even just tell on startup. 7,400 RPM redline. This is a revvy little engine. It has reasonable torque down low, but it's still an engine that wants you to wind it out. And that's what I love about it. It's not the best sounding engine in the world. It doesn't make the most power. It wants to be revved out to its redline every single time. And this car also comes standard with 18-inch wheels and Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires, 215 section width. Same tires that you get with the limited trim standard BRZ. And right away, one thing I am noticing is that the brakes feel so much better, even on the street. Very easy to modulate still, these Brembos. A little bit of rotation there. The Torsen limited slip diff does a great job at letting you control the rear end of this car on throttle. It's just such an easy car to drive at the limit. The only thing that detracts a little bit from how easy it is to drive slowly is the rev hang. There still is rev hang with the 2024 model year, but it really only becomes noticeable when you're driving the car slowly, shifting at lower RPMs, partial throttle. When you ring this thing out full throttle, shifting at 7,400, it's not such a problem. You can still speed shift this car. The car just feels so lightweight, so nimble. And compared to something like the ND3 or ND2 Miata, this feels less whimsical. It's more serious. That's also how I describe this car versus the ND3 on track. It's all relative. This car feels whimsical compared to something like an M3 or a Supra or a C8 Corvette. But compared to the ND3, which is, you know, 500 pounds lighter and has a much softer suspension, this TS BRZ with the upgraded Hitachi dampers feels like a more serious performance machine. It corners flatter than the ND3. The car doesn't pitch and dive around every corner in the same way. Easy to heel toe. Although I would say the Miata is more fun to drive at lower speeds. Even when you're not sliding that car around, it's fun just because it's so lightweight. It's lighter than basically anything else you can buy brand new. 500 pounds lighter than this BRZ is no small accomplishment. The 6-speed manual is a joy to use. It's unchanged from the standard BRZ. It's one of the better manuals on sale today. You know what? With the Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires, this car actually has almost too much grip for the street. I kind of miss the base model, the premium trim BRZ that just has the Michelin primacies, because you can slide that car around so easily. With these tires, you actually have to try. Just flooring it in first gear at a right hand or left hand corner, the rear end doesn't really want to step out that eagerly. Steering feel from this electric power steering rack is good, but it's nothing to write home about. I would say the ND3 Miata now has definitively better steering feel than the BRZ and GR86. But look, at low speed, this is where I have a small problem with this car. It's just not that easy to drive at low speed because of this manual transmission and the throttle mapping. When I lift off the throttle, you actually have to almost prematurely lift off the throttle before you clutch in. Otherwise, the revs will actually spike up a bit. And even if you do that, the revs still take longer than I would like to drop. And so driving around town, driving in traffic, it is kind of an exercise in patience. And for 2024, as we just found out, this has Subaru's EyeSight suite of driving aids, even with a manual transmission. That was something I really wish my 2022 had. So we have adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and emergency braking. And this car, at the end of the day, is a back to basics sports car formula. You get old school front engine, naturally aspirated rear wheel drive, manual transmission, lightweight driving dynamics with all the amenities, or at least most of the amenities you would want with a new car. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Subaru EyeSight, an easy to use touchscreen, dual zone climate control, heated seats. It's pretty much got everything you could want, and it's very easy to daily drive. And this TS model, I would say, if you're looking for a car that's ready to be tracked basically out of the box, it's worth the extra $5,000, because to upgrade the dampers and the brakes would cost you probably at least that amount in the aftermarket. So let me know what you think of the BRZ TS. A big shout out to Mama for hosting this event, and a big shout out to Subaru. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.